cultivate our humanity. What does it mean to cultivate our humanity? It means that we feel our feelings. It means that we face our fears. It means that we do that here so that we can help the people in our community do the same thing. We can't help anybody do what we have not done. That's why the first shift as you step into the New Law business model is congruence. New Law business model is my company, for those of you that don't know. And we have these 5 shifts that we teach to lawyers to make as you're stepping into a new way of doing business. And these shifts apply to all of us. The first one is congruence. You cannot do for somebody else what you have not done for yourself first. And if we want to be different than the AI, because the AI will be better than us. It will be faster than us. It will compute faster. It will be able to write better than us. We get to use the AI and not be afraid of it by facing our fears in a uniquely human way. So what is the uniquely human way? It is to acknowledge I'm afraid. And to notice, where do I feel that fear in my body? What does that fear cause me to do? What are the thoughts that fear causes me to think? And instead of pushing them away and numbing out with TV or addiction or other ways that we try to escape, we have to actually face it, lean into it, learn to cultivate more of our ability to feel. Because that's what makes us human. And that's what the AI will never be able to do, is to feel our feelings. Is to live in this uniquely human way where we actually can help the people in our lives feel their feelings. And when you build your business around that, you can never be replaced. In fact, you can write the best eulogy, the best letter. You can give your spouse the best response with the support of AI. You can help your clients craft the most custom legal documents that can never be confused when the conflict happens, but instead are used to clarify and remind us, oh, right, these were what our values were, and you can do it more efficiently than ever. And the part that you bring is the uniquely human part, but many of us have lost our humanity, or we're in process of losing our humanity because of the systems that we've grown up in. Because our parents got triggered when we cried. And in their trigger, they tried to get us to stop crying. They didn't know how to deal with their feelings. So we don't know how to deal with our feelings. So we don't know how to help their clients or our clients deal with their feelings. But this is what makes us uniquely human, is that yes, we have a mind, but our mind will never be as powerful as our heart, and our mind will never be as powerful as the mind of AI. So you start by facing your fears, and what I would like for you to do is to write down all of the things that you're most afraid of when it comes to AI. Write it down so that they're out in front of you. Write it down so that you can look at them honestly and objectively. Write it down so that then you can say, okay, how am I going to address this? How am I going to address the fear that maybe I'm not going to be able to keep up? Okay, what's your plan? What's your plan for that? How many hours a day are you going to be willing to invest? How much time are you going to be willing to invest in getting the support so that you can keep up? All it takes is a plan. All it takes is for you to put it on your calendar. All it takes is for you to make a commitment to do it. But you have to know that it's there in order to be able to take the action. Oh, I'm worried that my child is not going to learn how to do math. because they're just going to rely on AI. Okay, well, let's look at that. Let's look at that belief. Let's look at that fear, and what can we do? Do we need to do anything about that, or do we just recognize that maybe I can help my child learn to use AI in a way that enhances my child's creativity? How can I get my child more in nature? How can I get my child more in connection with other humans in a way that my child learns the emotional skills of humanity, of conflict resolution, of being with somebody in their pain, of being in their own pain, of feeling more? How can I actually get them using AI to get their homework done faster so that we can spend more time playing? So that we can spend more time creating? How do I actually use this fear that I have to remember what really matters for me as a human? Because we are facing a split. It's coming. And you have to decide which side of it you're going to be on. Are you going to be the consumer that feeds the machine? Or are you going to be the creator that creates a machine? And if you're going to be a creator that creates a machine, what are the values of this machine that you're creating? And then how are you going to invite people to be part of the machine that you create, and then interlink your machine with the other machines that are values aligned, so that we have an engine together that is operating to create a world that we truly want to live in? And if you're not creating a machine or part of a machine that's interlinked with other machines, then you are a consumer feeding the machine, which is a fine choice to make as long as you're making it from a place of choice. Because that is what you have. You have choice. You have choice, and you get to choose. And as soon as you forget that that's the case, you become on the side of the divide that is the consumer. And there will be a future reality in which you don't have to work. The big machine will pay you to give it all of your attention. UBI is coming. The governmental cryptocurrency is coming. We have to find a way to replace all of the jobs of the people that are going to be replaced by AI, or at least the income of those people that's going to get replaced through this central currency that will absorb the attention of the people who do not make the leap, who do not choose to be the creators. And you have a choice. You will have a choice. But you got to keep remembering that choice and remembering your power as a human to create and to utilize AI to create. So what are some of the things that you will need to change in your business if they're operating right now? First of all, you have to look at what part of what I do can be done automated. And start automating it as quickly as you can. Start getting as efficient as you can, using the technology that exists to automate what can be automated. Start basing your service model on the outcomes that you provide that require your humanity, that help people to feel more, to connect more, to play more, to have better experiences. Change your model. If you're charging anything on an hourly basis, it has to stop. Because nobody's going to pay for anything hourly anymore. And it won't make sense for you to get more efficient. The only model that makes sense on an hourly basis is one where things get dragged out as long as possible. But we're going to be able to get really efficient. And we want to reward that efficiency. Your marketplace is going to reward that efficiency. So instead, you've got to structure your services, if you're offering services, where what you are offering is an outcome. And you're using your humanity to deliver that outcome, and you're using your automation, your AI, your chatbot, your assistant to support you to do that as efficiently as possible with automation. So you change your whole model so that you cannot be replaced. You cultivate your humanity and expand your service offerings. Expand your service offerings so that you are helping people go deeper than they would be able to go with AI. So I know we've got a lot of lawyers in the room. Thank you all for coming. And I'm going to use you as an example because AI is going to replace most lawyers. It's already happening right now, even with the let's say, sophisticated versions. We've got some very unsophisticated versions of AI right now. And the unsophisticated versions of AI can draft legal documents already. And if you can prompt craft it, and that's what it is called when you put in the prompt to the AI, and if you get really good at prompt crafting, you'll be able to have the AI ask the questions that need to be asked so the documents can be drafted pretty well. So if we look out 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, if you're just providing the documents, you're not going to be needed. So what part of you will be needed? The part of you that helps people to make the decisions that are beyond the surface. Which means that you have to be able to go beyond the surface. You have to understand beyond the surface what truly matters to people, even more than they know what matters to themselves, so that you can ask them the questions that AI would never think to ask. You can notice the body language of contraction and say, I noticed that when I asked that question, you tightened. AI won't ever be able to do that. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. But you are going to be able to say what it felt like in your body. And I felt this contraction in my body. And I'm curious if you noticed that in yourself. Did you notice that contraction? Now, why is it important that they notice the contraction? Because it speaks volumes about what's underneath the surface. I noticed when I talked about that your spouse might get remarried after you die, that you had a reaction to that. Was it because that made you feel uncomfortable, or because you got scared that maybe they would get remarried and leave all of your assets to their new spouse? These are questions that you can ask through your noticing of what's happening and checking in. What am I seeing here? What am I feeling here? Because here's what I'm feeling in myself. It requires you to cultivate your own feelings, your own noticing, your ability to connect with somebody beyond just the surface, your willingness to feel your own emotions. And so I want you, whether you're a lawyer or a therapist or a political organizer or a community leader, to begin to look at what is the part of what I do that requires this connection, this emotionality. What is the outcome that I can deliver in my community with the people I serve that leads them to a deeper understanding and awareness of themselves? How do I craft that into a model where people are paying me for my humanity so that they can be more in their humanity? What does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? And then how do I use AI to automate as much as possible of it? When you do that, you are the creator. You are the creator of an offering. You are the creator of connection. You are the creator of a business that you then get to invite other people into. your clients that will pay you for this service, your team members that will be so happy to be part of a team that is truly built on a foundation of connection, of emotion, of humanity, that will allow them to participate in their own creation, their role in the ecosystem that you're creating together. And it's really important how you invite people in to work with you, your team members, because they're going to have a choice. Their choice will be to stay home and play video games and get paid for it, or work on your team. So you better create a machine that is more exciting to them than the video game that they can get paid to play, that allows them to be in their creator role, right? Where they're not just an automaton coming to work for you, just doing what you say. Nobody's going to want that anymore. But instead, where they are a partner on your team, collaboratively creating something of value for the community, where you say to them, tell me, what is the world you want to create? What is the vision that you have for yourself 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now? Tell me what's important to you. And when they do, you take that into account in how you're creating the machine. Because that's how you'll be able to bring on the team members that want to work for you and with you, by your side, because you're doing it together. It's not just you doing it, telling them what to do. If you're finding that it is harder than ever in the marketplace to find team members to work with you, you're right. It is a really tight job market. And it's only going to get worse because people will not need to work in the future. It will be because they want to. So you've got to create an environment where they want to, because you're doing it together. And you're inspiring. And you're a visionary. And you're creating a machine that is a we machine. That is an ecosystem of we instead of an ecosystem of I. And when I was building my businesses the first time around, I wasn't told about this. I was told that I should build my business for me. But the more I did it, even though it was financially successful, I could not get right with it. I couldn't get congruent with it because I couldn't figure out, why would anybody want to work for me? Yeah, I mean, they're getting a paycheck, but it can't feel that good. I wouldn't want to work for me. And it wasn't because I didn't give people plenty of flexibility. I did. It was because I wasn't doing it with them. And I was thinking of them as the AI. I was thinking of them as the AI. So I'm so glad that we will have AI that I can think of as the AI, so that everybody on the team together can really be in their most human capacity. So as you're building your business model, begin to build your business model in a way that uses AI so you don't have to fear it, that really rewards you for cultivating your humanity, that supports you to create a machine that is a more compelling machine than the big machine, that will attract the people who care about the planet and about connection and about their own humanity. And then create the culture within your machine that really rewards people for that, starting with yourself. Start by rewarding yourself for feeling your feelings, doing the healing work that you need to do first and foremost to be able to actually be in connection, to be able to actually feel what's hard to feel, because this is why we were born. Spend every day asking yourself the question, who am I? Why am I here? What is mine to do? Who am I? Why am I here? What is mine to do? Why was I born now? Of all times, why? And you'll remember. You might even remember choosing to be born at this time for this purpose, so that you could heal what we've inherited from the past. Celebrate our ancestors for what they had to do to get us here. Every single one of you has a story that you were born through of what your ancestors had to do and were subjected to that deserves celebration and healing. Celebrating them because they did it. You wouldn't be here otherwise. And healing because they did it. And it was probably ugly, whatever it was that they had to do. Whether it was powering over or hiding, cheating, stealing, thieving, one or the other, they did it. Groveling, begging, pleading, subjecting, they did it. And that lives in you. And if we continue to operate in those ways of what we inherited, which requires us to acknowledge and understand what we've inherited, the world continues to be a place that is not a world that works for everyone. And we are at a time, for the first time ever on this planet right now, maybe unless you have some concept of Atlantis, for the first time in this history, we are at a time when we have the resources, the consciousness, the time, energy, attention, and money, team resources, to face what we've inherited, to heal it, and to create a new future reality. And we have to do it with AI. We have to do it with the technology that is here for us so that we can focus on our healing, heal the past, and create a new future reality. So thank you for being here. I know that you're here because you want to do that. And I'm so grateful to you for saying yes to what's hard, because it will take all of us continuing to do that, continuing to shift from whatever our time, energy, attention, and money has been going to out of the scarcity-based beliefs that we've inherited and putting them instead on investing in our own healing, investing in our community, investing in our creativity, investing in our resourcefulness, and investing in creating these new machines that are in alignment with our values that we can invite people into so that we can link arms and do it together. Thank you, everybody.